Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's PDH Deck Tech. I'm Joseph, and this week we are in the Orzhov Guild, giving us black and white, and our commander today is Cleric of Life's Bond. Cleric of Life's Bond is a 2/2 vampire cleric for white-black that has, whenever another cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life, and whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. Now, I really like that this commander puts us in Cleric Tribal, which is fairly off the beaten path as tribal strategies go. Sure, everyone knows about white and clerics, but this gives me an excuse to look at some clerics in black and what synergies they have. Also, the second ability ties life gain, something Orzhov does incredibly well, into +1 counters. This is nice because it means that we will always have a decent win con in just growing our commander and smashing with him. But what I thought was interesting was that the ability only cares about the first life you gain each turn, meaning you can't abuse this with 100 life gain triggers on your turn, or even gaining a lot of life on your turn. Instead, you need to focus on how to get a life gain trigger on each turn going around the table. So, what are our goals for this deck? We're going to gain all of the life we can, protect ourselves with Cleric Tribal abilities, and then swing in for huge damage with our commander. To start off with, we need to gain life constantly. Luckily, this is the exact thing the clerics are known for. The Soul Sisters will both gain us 1 life whenever any creature enters the battlefield, whether it's under our control or our opponent's. An underplayed version of this is Leonin Elder, which will gain us life whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under anyone's control. And we do have a fun enchantment, Soul Link, that will gain us life anytime the enchanted creature deals or takes damage, neutralizing its combat steps against us and making us benefit when it swings at someone else. And to get a little nastier, Suture Priest will reward us for playing creatures while punishing our opponents, and Trespasser's Curse will straight up drain an enemy for just playing creatures. We have some great cards that synergize with this life gain. Heron of Hope will effectively double up all of the life that we are gaining, putting us way out of our opponent's reach, and Celestial Unicorn will get a +1 counter each time we gain life, growing even faster than our commander. In the meantime, Epicure of Blood and Marauding Blight Priest will turn every life gain into a life drain situation for our opponents. Once we've got all of this life, what are we going to use it on? Black is the ultimate color for spending life to draw cards, and we are going to take advantage of that. In addition, we can use it to pay for the costs of Soul Channeling to regenerate a creature, or Soul Pump to pump it by +2/+2 per activation. We can use it to kill a creature directly with Snuff Out, or protect ourselves from any source of damage using Righteous Aura. Life is our currency, and we're going to be rich. Now, it would be very simple to end the strategy here, focusing on life gain and life pay effects, but our commander specifically cares about cleric cards, and as I explored that tribe, I found a bunch of very interesting and surprisingly powerful cards. Several clerics function as removal. Monk Realist and Dawnbringer Cleric both destroy any enchantment on ETB. Blind Zealot and Jarl of the Forsaken can act as creature removal, one by sacrificing itself and one through an ETB effect. Clerics are also fantastic at protecting. Benelish Missionary can prevent all combat damage dealt by a single blocked creature, including one blocked by Benelish Missionary, while Benevolent Bodyguard can sacrifice itself to give any creature protection from the color of our choice. But we can then find some cards that synergize with Cleric Tribal, and we find some very unheard of but powerful cards. Darrow Spiritualist will give any cleric +2 toughness anytime it's targeted by a spell or ability. Battlefield Medic can tap to prevent X damage to any creature, where X is the number of clerics in play, and Whipgrass Entangler has the very odd ability to tax an opponent's creature for attacking, and that tax is equal to the number of clerics we control. But in case those cleric protections fail, we can save our team with blink effects, like Ephemerate, which will not only save our creature, but re-trigger any ETB effects they may have had, as well as trigger our commander's ability. In addition, I just have to include the very thematic Test of Faith, which will prevent 3 damage and put up to 3 +1 counters on our creature. But we do have to remember that our creatures are small, and they are going to be sent to the graveyard. Minery Charm will bring 1 cleric back to our hand, while Death Denied can bring back several. For creatures, Disciple of the Sun can bring back any permanent with mana value 3 or less, but the real prize is going to be Draugr Recruiter, which we can boast in order to bring back a creature again and again. But with all this going on, how are we going to win? We do have a few dedicated win cons in this deck. First, we're going to put our faith in our commander, but if that fails us, we can always turn to prayer. Remember, this whole time that we're gaining life and playing clerics, our commander will be getting +1 counters, making it huge very quickly. The only problem is that it doesn't have any form of evasion. We are going to solve that with Gift of Orzhova, which will give our commander +1/+1 flying and lifelink, and also use Asha's Favor, giving our commander flying, first strike, and vigilance. However, if those fail to push our commander through, we can use Rite of Consumption and Essence Harvest, taking advantage of our commander's large power to drain out an opponent directly. But what if that fails? We are putting a lot of faith in one creature. The answer to killing, surprisingly, comes from our cleric synergies. Vile Deacon gets +X/+X whenever it attacks, where X is the number of clerics in play, and Profane Prayers is an almost unheard of drain spell, dealing X and gaining us X life, where X is the number of clerics in play. Even if our board is full of little creatures that just gain us life, this can come out of nowhere and win us the game. And that is my Cleric of Life spawned deck. I really enjoyed building this deck. It's a mix of what Orzhov loves doing, playing with life, and a niche tribe with clerics. I was able to find some really neat cards, and I'm glad I got to show them off in this deck. This deck is going to cost us approximately $30, mostly due to Snuff Out and the Soul Sisters. The deck list is in the description. Please like and subscribe, and come back next week when we paradise our enemies with poison in the Rakdos Guild.